Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is Maria KOROLOV. I'm the editor here at MetaStellar. And if you're here, you must be looking for some free fantasy and science fiction to read this weekend. And we have some great books for you. The top 5 free best-selling science fiction and fantasy ebooks on Amazon. You see, every single Friday we do this. The team here at MetaStellar reads the first few chapters of each of those books. And today I was helped out by Melody Friedenthal and Taryn Smith, two of our editors, and our newest community member, Kristen Noland. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for helping out. I'm sorry to say none of them could make it here today. So today's list includes an award-winning novel of First Alien Contact. But before we get to that, we've got 4 other books to talk about. The links to the full article is in the description box below, as well as all the magazine links, including our 2 anthologies. Year 1 and Year 2 just came out this summer. We're able to publish all these free stories that we publish every week. A bunch new ones came out this week. We're able to do this thanks to our Patreon supporters. Thank you, guys. We love you. And the link to our Patreon and to our merch store is in the description box below. So for some great holiday reading, in case you want a little bit of downtime this weekend, let's get into the books. All right, book number 5, because we're going to count them down. This book is Glimmer of Christmas by Heather Harris, a novella set in the same universe as the Other Realms series, which has 7 books in it, and it's an urban fantasy. And I reviewed the first book in that series before for a previous Free Friday. I loved it. I read the whole book. I got the second one. I'm probably going to work my way through the whole series. I really love the main character, full of action, humor. The main character is super confident. I love her skills, and I love the way she's learning her way through this fantasy world that she discovers that she's a part of. It's a bit of a cliche premise, but I'm really enjoying it. And I particularly like the fact that the romance part is a little bit downplayed. I mean, her best relationships with her dog, who turns out to be a hellhound, even though he looks like a Great Dane. So love this series. And this particular novella is between book 2 and book 3 in the series. So it's kind of like a little Christmas add-on. So if you plan to read the series, there are a couple of minor spoilers at the beginning of this book for what comes earlier, but nothing too heavy, and you don't need to have read the other books in order to get into it. I'm enjoying it very much. So it begins the same way as the first couple of books in the series began, with Jinx, our main character, who's a private eye, finding a guy in a compromising sexual position. In this particular case, he's hanging naked from a bunch of ropes. So his wife hired her to figure out what was going on, and she tracks him down, finds him, reports back to his wife, because that's what she does. This is her job. And then she heads back to her office, which she rents from a local vampire. And there's clients waiting for her. There's a witch who heads up a local coven, kind of a scary witch, and she's got a little girl with her. And the girl has lost her Christmas sack. It's like a Christmas stocking, but a little bit bigger. So her parents had died in a car crash, and her mom had made this sack for her by hand. And so the witch's coven is taking care of the girl, but they can't find the sack. So the witch has hired Jinx to track it down. And Jinx herself has lost both her parents, so she sympathizes with the little girl and takes the case. And her first thought is that maybe one of the other kids in the witch's coven took the sack as a prank. So she's going to head over to the coven and investigate. I love Jinx. I love the premise here. I'm definitely going to stick with this novella. And like I said, she's one of my favorite urban fantasy characters, and I am going to be sticking with the whole series. highly recommended, and the Christmassy theme is particularly nice this time of year. Okay, next we go to The Glass Palace by Kathryn Trattner, a standalone book which is a retelling of the classic fairy tale East of the Sun, West of the Moon. And if you like this author's style, she has plenty of other fantasy books on Amazon. It's the author's first time on our Free Friday list. And Terrence Smith read this for us, and he doesn't usually review romance books, but he liked this one. He says it takes place in 1890, and a young woman, Astrid, her father arranged a marriage for her when she was a little girl, and now her father's dead. All his possessions were sold off to pay his debts, and she leaves her home in Amsterdam and goes to Siberia to meet Tyr, the man to whom she was betrothed. And when she gets off the train at her destination, she finds a bulky man dressed in black, wearing a silver mask that he refuses to take off. And Terrence said this is giving him gothic romance vibes, or maybe something like Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, which not really his thing, but he says he's getting into this book. He says the writing is beautiful, it's really atmospheric, you can really feel the cold and the beauty of the train station. And he says that the book really makes you feel what Astrid is feeling and makes it really palpable to anyone who's lost their family like she has. Also, Astrid's a big reader, which of course any of us could relate to because we're all huge readers. That's why we're here on this channel. So she tries her best to bury her nose in a book and take her mind off this whole situation that she's in. And Terrence said he's also intrigued by the mystery of who this guy Tyr is. And he's wondering if there's going to be a Beauty and the Beast dynamic going on. Also, there's some supernatural kind of elements. Astrid feels her wedding ring getting warmer as she gets closer to her final destination and to the guy. So maybe there's some kind of mystical connection between the two of them. So Terrence says he's going to stick with the story and see where it goes. Okay, next we have Blood Feud by J.W. Webb, the first of 6 books in the Berserker and Slayer, an epic fantasy series. And the other books are $1 to $5 each, but they're all in Kindle Unlimited. And the 5th book of this series is also free today. And this is the author's first time on our Free Friday list. So if you like these kind of books, I strongly recommend that you grab them now. A bunch of them are 99 cents. And like I said, one of them is also free. So good deal. But also they're in Kindle Unlimited. Which reminds me, all of these books are in Kindle Unlimited too. Kindle Unlimited is where you pay 12 bucks a month and you read all the books you want, as long as they're in Amazon and in Kindle Unlimited. A lot of books are. I think in the sci-fi genre, more than half of the books are in Kindle Unlimited, including some really big name bestsellers from really big name authors. So, Blood Feud is set in a fictional, wintry, and rough land, and it starts with a baby, Jiran, grandson of the ruler of a mythical island kingdom, and he's taken from his mother by a spectre named Traveler in order to save his life. Turns out that an evil queen took control of this kingdom through sorcery, and she wants his head. And the Traveler hid Jiran for 27 years. And now the evil queen's husband, like the king, who's also Jiran's uncle, sends assassins to kill Jiran. But Jiran is a skilled warrior who's got magic on his side and escapes the attack. And he's able to question the assassin, and he learns that his uncle sent him after him, that the island kingdom is not a myth after all, but a real place where he was born. And so he wants to find the sorcerers who destroyed his family and make her pay. And Kirsten Nolan read this for us, and she says that she identifies strongly with Jiran. She likes the character. He's a strong warrior. He goes after what he wants, no matter the cost. And the villain, the evil queen, is also an interesting character. She's a seductress as well as a sorcerer, and she wants power. And the violent winter setting is a perfect backdrop for all of this. She says the book is well written and fast paced. She loved the beginning of it. However, she says she won't be finishing the novel. But she says that if you like high fantasy and you like magic, intricate power plays, and brutality, you might enjoy it. Next, we have Kings of Ruin by Daniel Arenson, the first of 6 books in the Kingdom of Sand, another epic fantasy series. The other books are $1 to $5 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. And the author has been on our list before several times. So I read this one. And again, it's kind of a violent political power dynamic, family struggle kind of novel that's billed as Game of Thrones meets Spartacus. And the author is a USA Today bestseller. So very readable, lots going for this book. But like Kristen with the previous book, I'm not gonna be sticking with it because it's not quite for me. So the book opens with Maya, a young woman with magic powers and an evil older half-sister. Their kingdom was attacked by invaders, and her older sister is a product of rape by one of these invaders. Now they're back again. They almost destroyed the country the first time around. And Maya's family, who are the rulers, have to figure out how to fight them off. Oh, and in this kingdom, magic is illegal, but Maya has magic powers, so there's an issue right there. I did not like Maya. She kind of struck me as one of those too stupid to live people. So she knows that magic is forbidden, but she still uses it to heal a sick dog in public without checking if anyone is watching. And then the evil prince, one of the invaders, shows up and kills the dog anyway for a laugh. So she didn't even get to rescue the dog out of it because she didn't really have any situational awareness. Now, maybe she learns over the course of the book, but I really didn't like this beginning. Then we switch to the point of view of her older brother, who's in line to inherit the kingdom. He's worried about this invading fleet that showed up. He's bickering with his siblings, and there's a bunch of family drama and problems that are related to all this. And then we moved to the evil's older sister, and she seduces the invading prince right in front of Maya. And apparently she wants to go off with the invaders and live with them because she's sick of this stupid provincial country and her stupid relatives. So, and there's another thing that bothers me besides all the family drama and the violence and brutality and everything. The evil emperor of the Vedic Empire has thousands of slaves marching to their doom, prisoners being crucified right and left, all horrible excesses that remind me of Rome. And then we learn that the country where Maya is living in is a place where people get circumcised. So a little bit of an allegory for the story of the Jews in Roman times. So if you like that, I guess that's where the whole Spartacus thing comes in. So if you like historical allegories and epic fantasy on the grim side, and plenty of people do, then I do have to say the writing style is very compelling. The book does pull you in, and the story moves along at a good solid clip, and there's plenty of tension and high stakes right from the very beginning. So definitely, it was giving me Game of Thrones vibes, definitely. So if you like those kind of things, check it out. Before we move on, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. The link to the Patreon is in the description box below. Thanks to these guys, we're able to pay for our original fiction from new and emerging science fiction and fantasy authors. So we thank you guys. You're wonderful. We love you. Thank you so, so much. And none of this would be possible without you. All right. So, book number 1 on today's list, The Zoo of Intelligent Animals by D.A. Holdsworth. It's been nominated for a bunch of awards and won some. Now, it's the second of 2 books in the Claremont Conjectures sci-fi series, but it's actually a prequel to the first book, so it's totally fine if you read this one first. The other book is $4, but it is in Kindle Unlimited. So Melody Freenenthal read this one, and she says that she was into this book right from the beginning. It's set in London, and a communication has been received in a frequency where people have been looking for alien signals. And the SETI folks have decided that, yes, this is extraterrestrial communication. And Elizabeth, who works at a super secret British agency, has to tell a couple of people what's going on in this message. And they're kind of weird. One of them is more interested in the typography, like the comma placement. And the other one is also kind of interested in like weird stuff. And uh it's a confusing beginning, and the first guy seems to know more about the message that he's saying, but he's not sharing any of this information with Elizabeth. And we also meet another professor, an anthropologist, who's also a little bit mystical, fussy about his appearance, and he's also has some kind of connection to this message. So Melody says that there's lots of sources of tension in the first few chapters, and the settings and the dress and everything is very evocatively described, and the plot is intriguing, and these people who are involved seem to be unconnected to SETI. Like, for example, one of them is a botanist. So why are they being called in? So she says that the book is very well written and very amusing, and people who are interested in first contact might enjoy the story, and she herself definitely plans to stick with it. All right, so are you interested in any of these books? Let us know in the comments. If you read one of them, let us know what you thought. And if you'd like to join us for these free Fridays and help us out with the reviews, my email address is in the description box below. Feel free to write. And I wish everybody a happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and in case I don't see you next Friday, a Happy New Year as well. Bye-bye, everybody.